Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the Regen equipment guide and I'm gonna show you what to prioritize and farm for this tag because there is so many equipment. You should really use your resources wisely. We're gonna go over every exchange shop, event and so on, and at the end I'm gonna show you what are the best equipment set for each meta character in Regen. There is timestamp in the video bar and description, so you can jump to the part you want to learn more about. And now let's start with the best valuable gold equipment you can get. We are going to start with the permanent exchange shop, and you're gonna go to the equipment medals, and in here you're gonna find all the old PvP equipments from different seasons. They got added after 3 to 4 months in here, and you're also gonna find all the event equipment. There is only one that is useful, and we'll talk about it later. For the PvP equipment, I made some summaries so we can go over it quickly. First of all, you have two defensive regen movie equipment. The must farm is going to be the Piccolo one on the left because you only need the character to be regen and movie. They have quite similar stat, but the turtless one need a character to be defense type. So the Piccolo equipment is going to be useful on the orange Piccolo, the Janemba and the metal cooler. I think it's a must use on metal cooler. Janemba and Orange Piccolo, it depends on what you want to use, but I would farm at least one if possible. The Turles equipment is only usable on Metal Cooler. Also, you can use it on someone like Garlic Jr., but he's not meta. And it's not a must run on Metal Cooler unless you do not meet some requirement on some co-op equipment. So, I wouldn't really advise you to farm it if you have low resources, but if you have a lot of equipment medal, maybe you can get a good first slot and reroll it later. The second batch of gold equipment in the shop are gonna be for the two zamasus, Red Merge Zamasu and the Ultra Merge Zamasu. The must farm is gonna be the one on the left again, is the Rose one, replicating Goku Black. It's gonna give you special move, ultimate damage, HP restore, HP and pure strike attack. It's a must run on both Zamasu in my opinion. The second equipment is an okay equipment, but more like a stopgap, so if you are missing some equipment, it could be a good option. It still gives you HP, a lot of strike attack in terms of base and pure, and some HP restore, but no special move or ultimate damage. Farm at least one or two of the left one. The right one, it depends on what you have in terms of co-op and awakening, and we will see later during the character building if you need it or not. The third batch are gonna be two GT based equipment. The first one on the left is a master run on Yellow Baby. It's his best equipment in the game. It's gonna give him HP, a lot of base strike attack and pure strike attack. It's extremely good for him, so if you are running Yellow Baby, it's a must farm. And the second equipment is for LL Omega. It's quite good on him. It's gonna give him a lot of pure defense, HP, and some base defenses, but LL Omega is not meta and it's not his best equipment, but on Regen I actually use it when I'm using Omega. You can farm it if you want to run Omega, of course. The fourth batch are gonna be two different defensive equipment. You're gonna have the DB Regen one and the Cell Saga Regen one. If you want to run DKP or Piccolo Jr. and you want more defense, this is one of the options they have. They also have one Great Awakening equipment, especially for Piccolo Jr. He already has two equipment he must use. This is less valuable for him, but for DKP, it's definitely a great option, especially if you want him only to tank and rush characters. Then you're gonna have the Cell Saga Regen equipment. There isn't any great Cell Saga character right now. You have only Ultra Cell and you want to build them more offensively, so I don't see too much use for it, but you can pre-farm it for the future if you wish to, and it's still a great equipment in terms of stat. Talking about equipment that are good but not usable right now or not useful, and we have two Blast Regen equipment. There isn't any Blast Regen character that is meta. The best ones are Piccolo Jr. and Ultra Cell. Piccolo Jr. won't use this equipment because he has his DB equipment. His unique plus a third one won't be one of these two. And Ultra Cell, maybe he can use the left one. but he has so many good Coop equipment. It just depends. But yeah, here is the options. If in the future we get more Cell Saga character, more Blast character, these two equipment could be useful. Then we're gonna have two great equipment that are not available at the moment because they were from recent PvP season. You have the left one is Super Gogeta. It's a must farm. It's really good on Janemba. It's a must use on him in my opinion. It's also decent on Orange Piccolo, so I hope you have it. If you do not have it, when it returns, I would advise you to farm it. And the other equipment is gonna be a defensive equipment for LL Baby. If your LL Baby is struggling defensively, this is gonna be really good on him, and it will take some time to return if you didn't get it. Finally, we're gonna have two equipment that are not PvP based, but they are still very good. The one on the right is one of the rarest equipment in the game in terms of stat that it buffs, and it buffs basically blast damage inflicted, and that's not pure blast attack, that's blast damage inflicted stuff you get in kits, featured boost and so on. So if any regen character is range based, this is a must run on it. But like I said before, there is only Ultra Cell and Piccolo Jr., so it won't get too much use. But I'm mentioning it because there is the equipment collection stage, and that's where you get the equip. And if you are farming Awakening equipment and you need fodder, I would advise you to go to that stage. And at the same time, you can farm this equipment and get some good slot on it. The other one on the left is going to be the DKP equipment, and this one has an Awaken version, but the Awaken version is for DB regen, so it's not going to be useful for all regen character. And the base one is still very decent. It's going to give you a lot of pure defenses when you have a yellow character in your team. If you have two yellow characters, it's going to give you 30%, but even one is going to be pretty good. With 15%, it's going to give you base HP and base strike defense. Any character that can use it, I would say Yellow Baby if you want him more defensive, Janemba, someone like Evil Boo, he's ETR this season, he can use it. But of course, it's not a must farm right now because there is so many other equipment. We are switching back to the normal screen, and in here you're gonna have the PvP shop, and you're gonna have this Majin Buu Saga equipment, and it's basically for characters that are Majin Buu Saga and Regen, and there is only Majin Buu because there isn't any Piccolo that is Majin Buu Saga in game. This equipment is extremely defensive. Pure strike defense 20%, base strike defense 20%, HP 12%, and HP restore 10%. It's really good, but the two characters that want to use this equipment or can use it that do not need it. Now you have the Ultra Kid Buu, he won't use it for sure because he has only two equipment left after his plat, and you have LL Buuhan. Now LL Buuhan, there is more debate on if you want to use it or not. If he is low star your Buuhan, or if you are playing him in the future and there is some power creep, you probably need more defense, and this could be useful on him. So I would advise you to farm at least one copy, and you can keep it in your inventory if you need it in the future, or if your Buuhan is not tanking too much, it could be useful. Same stuff, you can use it on Evil Boo, he is G tier this season. This is gonna be premium equipment on him, so if you want to use that character, you can farm this equip for him. And I would really advise you to get at least one in your inventory because it will take a long time to come back on the equipment meta shop. Now let's move on to the best unique equipment you can get from the different energy stages. The ultimate equipment collection event is where you're gonna find most of the unique equipment that are farmable with energy, and you're also gonna find all the different LL unique equipments, and that's where we're gonna start. And the first most obvious one that you need to farm is the two unique equipments for Orange Piccolo. The first one is gonna be here, and for this one of course you need a third slot that is red. Do not run it if it's green or yellow, you have to reroll until it's red, because yellow and green, it's gonna be pretty useless. And the first slot, I would say anything decent is gonna be okay. Yellow slot, you don't need it max. And second slot, you need to get as high as possible for the pure defenses, the one that says 8 to 15% pure strike and blast defense, because this will count a lot when he revives and he will tank very well. if it's maxed, or as close as possible to max. Now we move to the second equipment. This one you need it a little bit higher in terms of grade for the first slot. You're gonna need as much as possible for damage guard. There is an ultra bonanza right now. Take advantage, farm the first slot, even if you are not planning to reroll it right now, because the damage guard is very important. And if you can get it to 150%, it will be great. And also I would focus the HP if possible. Slot 2, get as high as possible for reflected damage, and slot 3 you need a red if possible, because anything else is not good at all. The next LL unique equipment is gonna be for red zamasu. Same stuff as the second unique equipment for orange Piccolo. High damage guard, and third slot need to be red, of course. Second slot get high inflicted damage if possible. This is super important. The other equipment you have is gonna be for LL Piccolo here. It's really a good equipment, but the character is not good at all. So I wouldn't advise you to farm it unless you want to use him, of course, in PvP, but you won't get too much success. For this one, actually, you need a red slot, and first slot you need just anything above 9.5% HP, and you should be okay. There is no damage cut on it. For LL Kid Buu and LL Cell, they are, I wouldn't say they are meta, but they are okay characters. I wouldn't really use them. But if you want to sell the equipment, first slot isn't that crazy. Just get something decent, a yellow will do. Second slot is the same, just inflicted damage, get as high as possible. And third slot need to be red. Kid Buu, similar stuff. This guy has HP in his first slot though, so if you can get 14.5% or above, it would be okay. And third slot need to be red for max effectiveness. That's all for the LL unique equipment. Now let's look for equipment that are generic for tags and episode. The first one that I would absolutely advise to farm is going to be the Majin Buu Saga one. It's the one of the best equipment you can get for tag or episode in that case. It's gonna give you a mini zenkai buff. All your base stats are gonna be buffed by 25% or 30% depending on if it is defense or attack, and you're gonna get 15% HP, which is super high. So it's a must run on most of the Majin Buu Saga character. I would advise you to farm 1 or 2 if you are running Buuhan or Ultra Kid Buu. The next one, it might be crazier than the other, but it's a little bit more restrictive than the Majin Buu Saga one. And this one will offer HP, special move, and ultimate damage on the first slot. It's gonna offer double base offenses and double base defenses on slot 2 and 3. But it's depending on how many characters are DB in your party. Party means everyone in your team, so up to 6 characters. This equipment, I would really advise you to use it even if you have 2 DB characters in your team. For example, you have only DKP and in your bench you have Roshi. This will be pretty good still on him. It's gonna give him 10% or 20% to base strike and blast defense. It's gonna give him 16% base strike attack and blast attack, and some HP, special move, and ultimate damage just with 2 DB character. So if you are planning to run Piccolo Jr. or DKP, I would really advise you to farm this. But if you are not planning to get them or use them, it's not really useful for you because it's exclusive to DB characters. Next is gonna be the new Regen and Red equipment. This one was meant for Buuhan. It's decent, I would say, but it's not crazy. I would use it only if you want some ultimate damage and special move on a low star Buuhan, because you still get a lot of base strike attack, some strike defense, and the ultimate damage could be useful. But myself, I'm not gonna find myself using it too much. You can farm it if you need it really, but you can skip it if you do not have too much energy and you are planning to use other equipment on your Buuhan. We will build the optimal Buuhan later, and you can check if you need it or not. We are going to move to some future equipment for your zamasus. The first one is going to be a defensive one for any character that is from the Trunk Saga from Super, of course not the Dragon Ball Z. And it's going to give you double base defenses, HP and HP restore. Very good defensively. But this one you're going to use it only on your Ultra Zamasu. The red Zamasu won't need it because he already has his unique. and you want some offense on him, and this one won't be that great on that character, and he's already tanky naturally. But the Ultra Zamasu, he's gonna struggle defensively if he's A star or below, and you might want some defenses. And the best one for him is gonna be a Coop equipment. But if you do not have Coop medal or cannot meet the condition, this could be a nice alternative on him. So it's not a must farm, but if you want your Ultra Zamasu to be defensive and you don't have Coop equipment, this could be a nice substitute. The next future equipment is gonna be for Merzamasu the Ultra again, and this one is a must run on him. So if you are running Ultra Merzamasu, I would really advise you to farm this because it's a great equipment for him with a lot of special move and ultimate damage, HP and base strike attack, everything he needs. So if you are running Ultra Zamasu, please farm this equipment. For the red LL Merzamasu, the best equipment for him in the energy stage is this one, the Fusion Warrior red equipment. And it's gonna give him base strike attack, double base defenses, some HP and some ultimate damage, which is pretty great on him. I don't think it's a must run on him, but if you have a lower star Merzamasu, this could be a good base equipment on him. However, I don't think it's the best ever. Last one on this event is the powerful opponent purple equipment. This equipment is extremely defensive if you get the Saiyan meta, because you're gonna get 10% pure defenses versus Saiyans, 12.5% base HP and base strike defense 35%. However, currently I don't think we are in a strictly Saiyan meta, so it's not gonna be as useful, and the character that will benefit from it is Metal Cooler, and he already has so many defensive equipment. I already showed you two from the gold shop. There is also Awaken equipments that are really good for him, or actually Coop equipment. Awaken it not too much, and this one doesn't find itself that useful. You also can use it on Ultra Zamasu if you wish to. It can be an option in the future in a Saiyan based meta, and you need some defenses on your Zamasu. Other than that, I don't find anything useful. For example, this Regen blue equipment is absolutely garbage. It does give you double base offenses and ultimate damage only. If it gave you like base strike attack, ultimate damage and some HP last slot or defenses, it would have been good. But in this state, you would never use it on any character. There is only two blue Regen characters that are premium right now, which is Ultra Janemba. He won't use it, and LL Kid Buu. He won't use it obviously, so it's not a great equipment at all. You have some powerful opponent equipment, Cell Saga, GT, I wouldn't advise it. There is much better. Last thing I would talk about is the equipment battle event, and in here you're gonna find the Piccolo Jr. LL unique equipment. If you want to use LL Piccolo Jr. or not, I wish LL Piccolo Jr. But yeah, the red Piccolo Jr. You would need this equipment. It's gonna give you damage guard slot 1, so you need it pretty high. Damage inflicted slot 2, you need that slot high too, and third slot need to be red. Now let's move on to the Coop equipments. Coop has some really decent defensive equipment for Regen, especially movie Regen character. There's also other tags that can benefit from Coop, and we're gonna go over all the options. We start with the new PvP one, and I wouldn't advise you to farm this one. With Coop medals, you can farm it naturally in the event when it's up right now, but other than that, it's not that great. Gives you a lot of base defense and some pure defense, but no HP, and there is already a lot of good defensive equipment for Regen, so I wouldn't advise it. The only character that would have benefited a lot from this is Orange Piccolo, but he's not powerful opponent, so I don't understand why they did that, to be honest. Now we move on to the next one, and it's gonna be this. Same stuff, I wouldn't advise it. You need 3 movie character, and it's just a lot of defenses without HP, so it's not that great. However, this equipment is really good on your Ultra Zamasu if you can fulfill the second slot condition, which means you need another future character in your team, and I would really advise you to farm it for Ultra Zamasu if you can get all the conditions. Lot of HP, lot of base defense, lot of pure defense. This is one of the best Coop equipment possible. You would need only one copy, only Merzamasu would use this one. The LL one can use it, but only the Ultra would need it. The LL1 won't need this equipment. Next is going to be another great defensive equipment and one of the best again, and this is a movie equipment. But the last slot needs a movie powerful opponent character in your team for it to proc. You cannot have like a powerful opponent and a movie character that are separate, like Orange Piccolo and Buuhan, it won't proc. You need a character that has both tag in your team, like Janemba, Metal Cooler, and so on. And if you can proc the condition, I would really advise you to use it on your character where you want more defenses. It would be great on Orange Piccolo, Metal Cooler, it's a must use on him. I think it's a must use on Janemba. So if you are running Janemba or Metal Cooler, farm at least one. If you are running both, farm two of this equipment. It's always gonna be useful. Next is gonna be another regen equipment for defenses, and it's also movie. We're gonna scroll down here and you're gonna find this Broly one. Similar stuff to the Android 13, but a little bit more restrictive because the powerful opponent and movie character need to be another character than themselves. So you need another movie character and another powerful opponent. But it's gonna be really good if you have Orange Piccolo and Buuhan in your team, Orange Piccolo or any other region powerful opponent, it's gonna proc. I think the Android 13 one is better, but this one is gonna be nice on the Metal Cooler. So if you want your Metal Cooler to tank a lot, you're gonna need this equipment, the Android 13 equipment, and you're gonna need a gold Piccolo equipment that I showed you at the start of the video. And I would advise you to farm only one, and this for Metal Cooler. Janemba won't need this equipment. So to summarize, it's not a must farm. The Android 13 one is a must farm, but if you are running a Metal Cooler, it's a must use on him, and it's the only character that really need triple defense equipment. Next is gonna be this Garlic Junior one. It's not the greatest ever. There is a Awaken equipment for Regen that is much better, but this equipment is gonna be useful if you are running only two Regen characters in your team, and one of them is gonna be a movie powerful opponent, and the other is gonna be Regen and movies, or one character can fulfill both, of course. And it's a okay equipment. It's not a must farm, but if you have only two Regen character, it could become the best pure offense equipment for you. It just depends on your team build. For example, if you are running Buuhan, the Orange Piccolo, and Android 13, this equipment could be a good third option for Orange Piccolo because it's not a full Regen team. Other than that, you won't need it. You have this equipment for the LL Zamasu and Ultra Zamasu. It's an extremely strike heavy equipment. The second slot requires you to have at least two future battle member, so use it if you use both Zamasu together. And the third slot is gonna give you base strike attack 15%, pure strike attack 15%, and you couple it with the first slot with 10% base strike attack. It's gonna do a lot of damage for your Zamasu, and amazing equipment in terms of offensive stat. But currently I don't think you use it too much on your Zamasus because you need a little bit of tanking, and it's gonna be your third choice equipment. You also have the Awaken Piccolo equipment that we'll talk later. Also give you a lot of strike offense in your Regen team. So is it worth farming this with your Coop medal? I'm not too sure. If you have a lot of medals and you want your Zamasu to do a lot of damage, it can be an option. Other than that, just use the Piccolo Awaken equipment I will talk about later. It's also gonna give you similar type of offenses. We also have the yellow Regen equipment. Now this one was meant for Ultra Kid Buu, but he won't use this equipment anymore. He already has an Ultra equipment, or he will get one, and he has only two slots left, and you want to go with pures if possible, and this equipment doesn't cut it, so it's a little bit of a waste of Coop medals if you want to farm it for Kid Buu. However, it could be useful on El Janemba, but El Janemba is also a weapon wielder, and you can get a great Awaken equipment that is similar to this, and you won't need to use the Coop medals. So in short, good equipment, but not worth farming at the moment. Similar vibe is gonna be this fusion or a purple god key equipment. It's a lot similar to the Future Saga unique equipment I showed you earlier from the equipment collection event. It gives you double base defenses, some HP and special move. The others are gonna give you double base defense, some HP an HP restore, and you're gonna use it on only zamasu. So use the other one instead of this if you want some defense, so it's not worth it. Then we're gonna have this Majin Buu Saga equipment. This is a really good equipment, but it's pretty hard to proc the requirement. Second slot is gonna be base and pure strike attack. You need a regen roll, of course, which is really good on your buuhan or Ultra Kid Buu. But the third slot is the trouble because you need 3 Majin Buu Saga characters for pure defense. First slot is HP. You can still have some good output with just first slot and second slot. However, Regen already has a great pure strike equipment, so you won't really need this one. If in the future we get a team with triple Majin Buu Saga character, this will become premium on the Ultra Kid Buu and the LL Buuhan, but at the moment it's not that useful. And of course, if you are farming it and want to farm it because you have extra medals, you would need the strike attack variant on second slot. Then we move on to a similar vibe equipment, and this one is gonna be giving you a pure blast attack on your second slot when you have an android character, and it's gonna give you some pure strike attack when you have 2 Cell Saga characters, and it's only for Cell Saga characters, and the Regen has only Ultra Cell. Ultra Cell won't need this equipment at the moment, but in the future if you get a new Piccolo that is from Cell Saga, this could become useful. Or for example, we get LL Zenkai Cell. Any other equipment for Regen? I would say there isn't many left. You already have the Ultra Cell equipment, and which one you should get? I would advise you this, because you just need your Ultra Cell in your team, and you're gonna get pure blast attack and pure strike attack with base blast attack in your first slot. This is a really good equipment for him. You pair it with the Regen high equipment that gives you blast damage inflicted, and your cell is gonna do a lot of damage. However, it is not that meta in the current PvP era. You're also gonna have this equipment. I don't think it's good at all on your Ultra Cell, so you can skip it. Final equipment is gonna be the old Piccolo equipment, and this one is pretty good, but you need a hybrid character in your team. So if you are running Orange Piccolo with the LL Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, this is gonna be a premium on him, but on full regen right now it's not useful at all. So to recap, this one you don't really need it unless you have a hybrid character in your team and you use it on your Orange Piccolo. You're gonna have this one. It's not useful because of the unique equipment for the Future Trunks saga. You're also gonna have the yellow regen equipment. You use it on Kid Buu and Janemba, but they have better alternative or similar, so it's not worth the co-op medals. This one pretty good, but the requirement and restrictions are too heavy, so buuhan and Kid Buu won't need it that much. I would not waste my medal on it. Then you're gonna have this, pretty nice, but plus regen doesn't exist at the moment, and it requires Cell Saga, so you can skip it. You're gonna have the equipment for Metal Cooler. It's the only character that must use it. It's a really good equipment, but other movie characters that are Regen have alternatives that are quite similar or better. Then you're gonna have this equipment, pretty decent, but you already have an Awaken Regen equipment that does yield better output, so it's not worth farming. However, if you have extra metal, it doesn't hurt to get one in your squad, and then, or in your box, sorry. Then we're gonna move to cell equipments, the one that you want and you need. It's gonna be this one for the Ultra Cell. And finally, the must farm equipments for Regen in Coop is gonna be this one for your LL Metal Cooler, Janemba, and maybe Orange Piccolo if you want him more defensive and can proc the last requirement. You also have this one, which is a must farm for your Ultra Zamasu, especially if your Ultra Zamasu is A star or lower and you need him to tank. Just be careful, second slot need a future character. Finally, you're gonna have the new co-op equipment, and you don't need it, you can skip it because it's not that great. You can farm it naturally, but don't use equipment medal on it. Now let's move on to the Awaken equipment. The most important equip to farm for strike or blast regen is gonna be this Piccolo Awaken equipment. It's gonna give you up to 18% pure strike attack with 3 regen battle member. It's gonna give you 16% base strike attack and double base defenses 18% which is really good in terms of stat. A lot of offense, so your character is gonna do a lot of damage. So any strike-oriented regen character that do damage will need this character. Like Ultra Buuhan, Little Orange Piccolo, Little Janemba, Ultra Kid Buu when he gets his plat. I would advise you to farm 3 copies if possible if you are running full regen, and I would also advise you to get a strike roll. There is also a blast roll and you need to ignore it. It's going to be very annoying to roll because you will get always blast when you need strike and you will get always strike when you need blast, which is not the greatest. If you have only 2 regen character in your team, you still can run this equipment. It's going to be pretty good because you're going to get 12% pure strike attack and 16% base strike attack, which is really high for the standards of equipment. Is similar to the Garlic Junior one that I showed you earlier in Coop. So yeah, farm 2 or 3 of this equipment. It's gonna be pretty useful on your regen team. Then next we're gonna have this Majin Buu equipment. It's only gonna be for Majin Buu character, and it's gonna be quite similar to the regen one. It's gonna give you a little bit more base strike attack, 16% for the other, 25% for this one, and it's gonna give you 15% pure strike attack, 3% less. However, it's gonna be very useful. I would advise you to farm 2 if you have the Ultra Buuhan and Ultra Kid Buu. Farm 1 if you have only one of the Buus. Don't farm it if you don't have any of the Buus. Next, you're gonna have this Awaken Majin Buu Saga equipment. This equipment is an alternative to the Kid Buu equipment I just showed you. You're gonna use it on your Ultra Buuhan or Ultra Kid Buu if you want extra ultimate damage, special move, instead of the extra pure strike attack. But however, you need to have both Buu together because the third slot broke only if you have another Majin Buu Saga character. This is not a must farm, but it can be an alternative option. Again, we have the weapon wielder future equipment. This is an equipment that is so versatile because you can use it in so many different tags like Daima, Regen, Future, Vegeta clan. So many characters can use this equipment. You're always gonna find some use, and I would advise you to get a strike roll for Regen. So second slot, try to get base strike attack, not base blast attack. You're gonna use it on Janemba, Zamasus if they are low star. I wouldn't say it's optimal, but if you do not have a lot of options, it can be okay. Farm it regardless, at least 1 or 2, keep it in your inventory. Always gonna find some use for it. Next is gonna be some DB equipment, and you're gonna find this very OP pure defense equipment for regen DB characters, so Piccolo Jr. and DKP. You're gonna find maximum 2 of them if you want to use it on both, and you can use it on your DKP if you want him to tank and rush the enemy. That's all. It's gonna be pretty useful, especially right now in a very heavy blast meta with LL Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. It's gonna be pretty decent on your LLDKP or Piccolo Jr. The other defensive DB equipment is one that gives you so much base stats, and it's the Yajirobe one. This one is gonna give you double 33% base strike defenses and 12% HP. It pairs greatly with the DKP one I showed you before. On the LLDKP you can use both together, but on Piccolo Jr. you have to choose one or the other. So you can farm 2 of the DKP, but you would farm only 1 of the Yajirobe in that case, or farm 2 of the Yajirobe and farm 1 of the DKP equipment if you want to use them on both the Piccolo Jr. and LLDKP. Or if you want to use only one of the characters, let's say DKP, you can farm one of the Yajirobe and one of the LL or the yellow regen awakening equipment with the DKP on it that we saw earlier here. Final one that I would advise for regen at the moment is gonna be the yellow baby awakening equipment. It's for GT powerful opponent characters. It's gonna give him extra damage to Saiyans and hybrids. There is a lot of Saiyans and hybrids in the meta with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, some base strike attack, some base strike defense. It's really good for him in the current meta. Maybe in the future it won't, but if you want to use yellow baby today, it's gonna be a good piece of equipment that you need to farm for him. Other than that, there is a lot of other regen equipment, but I don't think they are worth farming right now. For example, this defensive awakened equipment is pretty decent, but it doesn't have HP, And the only character that I would say would use it is like Evil Woo, but he's not that meta, so you won't really use it. There is other equipment like this Bicon one, but I would skip it because Regen already has the Awaken Piccolo equipment that gives you way more pure strike attack and more base strike attack, so it's not that useful. That's all for the Awaken equipment. Now let's move on to building the different characters. We start with buuhan. Of course, you're gonna use the Majin Buu Saga unique equipment, and this is a great piece of equipment that gives you basically a mini zenkai buff plus an HP ability with 15% on the first slot. So this is extremely valuable, and I would advise you to use it on him. Even if your buuhan is like 14 star, this is still gonna be super valuable. And then we're gonna go with the pure regen equipment. Of course, I'm assuming you are using a regen team, and this is gonna be great on him with 18% pure strike attack, 16% base strike attack, and of course roll the strike attack variant with double defense in the first slot. And even if you have two regen battle member, this is still gonna be really good because you're gonna get 12% pure strike attack and 16% base strike attack, and that's a lot of damage. Then we move on to the third equipment, and it's gonna depend on what you want to do. If you want to build your buuhan more offensively, you have a high star buuhan like me, what I would advise is to go with the Kid Buu equipment, and this is gonna give you another 15% pure strike attack with 25% base strike attack and some special move. Really good equipment. If you couple it with the Piccolo one, you're gonna have 33% pure strike attack and 41% base strike attack, which is amazing. Now, if you want to build him more defensively, I would advise your third equipment to be the gold equipment from PvP this season. Really nice option for low star buuhan, or in the future when he's not as good and you want him to tank a little bit, this is gonna be great on him. Other than that, if you want ultimate damage, you have two options. The best one is probably the Awaken Majin Buu Saga equipment, but you need another Majin Buu Saga character in your team. This is great because you still get some base strike attack and pure strike attack, which is 10% to both offenses and 22% to base strike attack. Of course, roll the base stat, and you're gonna get some special move and ultimate damage, which is nice. Or you can just use the unique equipment from the event and don't waste too much awakening fodder. It's not the most optimal in terms of strike damage, but you're gonna get extra ultimate damage. For me, I'm gonna do this with 3 regen character, and it's gonna be really good for him. Now let's move on to Orange Piccolo. This guy, he has two equipment that are a must, of course, because they are unique equipment, and it's gonna be his first one, which is the one that we got like 2-3 years ago. And it's not the best one in terms of unique equipment, but still it's really nice on him because it's gonna give him up to 35% base strike attack and blast attack, 30% to base defenses, 15% to pure defenses when he transforms. That's why he's so tanky post transformation, plus 10% pure HP when he transforms, damage inflicted, and this is a must run on him if you want to use him. Then of course you're gonna have his new unique equipment, which is crazy in terms of stat, as you can see here. And I would advise you to have a high damage card first slot and a high damage inflicted second slot, plus the third slot need to be red for full effectiveness. If you want to Piccolo or your Piccolo to do damage, what you're gonna do is use the pure regen equipment, and this one is gonna give you 18% pure strike attack, and this is the best for him in terms of damage. If you do not have a full regen team, I would advise you the code PvP equipment. This is gonna give him 10% to pure offenses and 12% to base offenses plus 12% HP. It's gonna make him do damage, gonna make him tank, and it's gonna be great on him. If you want him more defensive, you're gonna use the gold PvP equipment from the old seasons, and this one is gonna give him a lot of pure defenses, HP, and base defenses. That's all for Orange Piccolo. One last thing is, if you didn't farm this equipment from part 1 of Legends Fest and it's not up anymore, What you can do as an exchange is use the unique equipment, the Garlic Junior one, and that's when you don't have a full regen team, because full regen team you use the Piccolo equipment anyway. It's gonna give you 18% pure strike attack, but this Garlic Junior is a good alternative if you have two regen characters. However, one of them need to be a powerful opponent movie, for example Android 13, Janemba, and so on. And you're gonna get pure strike attack, base strike attack, pure blast, and base blast, which is great. However, if you don't have that and you just want to run your Piccolo and you want him to tank, just go with the gold PvP equipment. Now let's move on to Ultra Kid Buu. This guy is getting an Ultra Plat equipment, so one of the slots are locked and we cannot change it. Then we're gonna have only two slots to play with, and the first one is gonna be easy, like buuhan, like Orange Piccolo. It's gonna be the Awaken Piccolo equipment that gives him pure offenses, base offenses, and it's gonna do a lot of damage with this Kid Buu. Then this is tricky because he's a Majin Buu Saga character. You might think we need to go with the Majin Buu Saga unique equipment, and if you do that, you are not like doing a bad thing. It's still gonna be really good with the stats that you have. But if your Kid Buu is super high star and you want him to do a lot of damage, what I would advise you is to go with the Awaken Buu equipment here and do like buuhan with double pure equipment. And with him having a plat, it's gonna give him a lot of base, and this is gonna be really good in terms of damage. Other than that, if you have Ultra Buuhan and you want your Kid Buu to still have some pure and do some special move damage and ultimate damage, you can go with the Majin Buu Saga equipment, and of course make sure it's a strike variant. And that's all for Kid Buu. You have the unique equipment for Coop that give him base strike attack, HP, and so on. But if you are going to do that, might as well use the Majin Buu Saga unique equipment, which is better overall. That's what I would do for Ultra Kid Buu. Use the two pure regen equipment. But yeah, if you want the Majin Buu Saga equipment, you're not gonna do something wrong. Let's move on to the next character, and it's gonna be Janemba. This character is melee based like all the others. The first equipment I would advise on him is gonna be the gold equipment that you got from his PvP season. If you got Janemba, you probably farmed it already because it's one of his best equipment, of course. Then I would do a defensive equipment if possible. I really like the unique equipment from the Android 13 campaign, and this is gonna be giving him double pure defenses, HP restore, special move. This is really great on Janemba, but if you do not have this equipment, what you can do is easy, and you can go with the regen equipment from the Piccolo here, and it's gonna give him double pure defenses, HP, and base strike defense. It's just if you have the co-op, you go with the co-op. If not, you can go with the gold equipment. I'm gonna put the co-op here. And finally, you're gonna go with the pure strike attack equipment for regen, and this is quite simple, the best offensive equipment for regen, so you're gonna use it when you can. If you do not have that many and you want to use something else, you can go with the unique equipment from the yellow regen co-op, but you can also go for the Awaken weapon wielder equipment. This is the same equipment in general. It's gonna give him base strike attack, 12% HP, special move, HP restore. I actually prefer the Awaken instead of the unique, so you can do that if you do not have the Awaken Piccolo equipment. Or if you want your Janemba to tank a little bit more and he's low star, it could be a nice alternative. Now let's move on to Merge Zamasu. This guy has a unique equipment and is gonna be the first thing you farm for him and the first thing you use. And you need a high damage guard, high inflicted damage, plus a red third slot for it to be useful. We move on to the second equipment, and it's gonna be the gold PvP one. Really great equipment with 12% HP maximum, 12% pure strike attack, ultimate damage, special move, and HP restore. Third equipment, you can use the regen one like all the others. It's gonna be great with more pure offenses, base offenses, and double defense. If your Zamasu is lower star, I would advise you to go with the unique equipment that you found for red Fusion Warrior, and it's gonna give him base HP, ultimate damage, base strike attack, and it should be good on him, to be honest. It's a very good equipment overall, but I would use it only if your Zamasu is lower star, less than 7 star or so. Higher star, I would go with Pures because of the damage that he does. If you do not have this equipment, you can still go with the weapon wielder future Awaken, and it's gonna do a similar job overall. And this equipment is gonna give you 32% base strike attack, 12% HP special move, and HP restore. It's just not giving you the ultimate damage, and the ultimate damage is pretty nice on Zamasu because of his ult that does so much. Last alternative to the third equipment, if you still want some pure offenses and you want some HP to tank, this gold equipment can do the job. It's gonna give you 15% base strike attack, 10% pure strike attack. I think this will yield more damage in terms of strike on 6 star or higher Zamasu than the other equipment that gives you base strike attack 30%, and it's still gonna give you some HP restore, but no ultimate damage or special move. That's all for the red Zamasu. Now let's move on to the ultra Zamasu. He has a really good unique equipment from the collection event that I would advise you to farm, and it's gonna be the purple future one that gives him a lot of base strike attack, ultimate damage, special move, and 10% HP, which is amazing. That's everything Zamasu need, and this is gonna be his main base equipment, and I think it's a must farm, so we're gonna put it as the first equipment here. The second one is gonna be the gold rose equipment. Similar to red Zamasu, this is really good for him. Special move and ultimate damage again, HP restore, HP, and 12% pure strike attack. Then the third equipment, I would advise you to go with a more defensive one if you have an A star or lower Zamasu, because he doesn't tank the best. The best defensive equipment is going to be this one, which is the Coop equipment that he got during his release. And this equipment need another future character in your team and another powerful opponent to proc all the conditions. So it's quite hard, and it's a Coop equipment, so maybe you don't have resources. But if you have this equipment and can proc all the conditions, it's gonna be a great option. For alternative, you have some that can do a similar job, but of course at a lesser rate. The first one is gonna be another Coop equipment, but the thing is, it's not worth using Coop medal in it or in this type of equipment because it's not that top tier, and you have some other alternative you can use that give you something similar. So if you have it, you can farm it and reroll it, but if you do not have it in your inventory already, it's not worth investing your Coop medal, and just go with this, which is quite similar to the other equipment. If you want your Zamasu to do more damage and still tank a little bit, you're gonna go with the Zamasu equipment here, the gold one from PvP, and this will give you some defensive ability while giving you some damage at the same time. Similar to this equipment, but this one is a little bit better because it gives you more pure offenses, special move, and ultimate damage, which is great for the Zamasu compared to the other that doesn't give special move or ultimate damage. Now we move on. If you do not want to use this equipment and you want something more base oriented, you can go with the Coop equipment or the Awaken equipment, sorry, and this one is gonna give him 32% base strike attack and 12% HP, which is great on your Zamasu. If you want him full offense, you can go with the Piccolo equipment like all the others, but I would advise you only if your Zamasu is really high star or if you have a great team around him that can tank. For me, that's what I'll do. I'll use the orange Piccolo or the Piccolo equipment, sorry, that gives him 18% pure strike attack and 16% base strike attack. There is also the Coop equipment, which is quite similar for him. It actually would output more damage for your low star Zamasu, and this equipment is gonna give him 15% pure strike attack and 25% base strike attack. But you need like another future character for the second slot. So if you are running Zamasu alongside him, this could be good. Still, if you are running like a team that is not full regen, this is gonna be better than the Piccolo equipment because you're gonna get 15% pure strike attack and way more base strike attack. That's all for Ultra Zamasu. Now let's move on to the second batch of characters. Baby is the third best yellow on regen. but he's still pretty usable. And if you do not have the two other yellows, and I'm assuming Kid Buu is going to be better, you can use Baby, or if you want to use a Proud Team and you need a second yellow, he can be an option. The first equipment I would advise, and it's a must run, it's going to be this gold equipment that is very easy to roll, and it's going to give him up to 30% base strike attack, 15% pure strike attack, and up to 12% HP, which is amazing on the yellow baby who is melee based. The second equipment I would advise is his Awaken, especially during the current meta, because it's gonna give him some extra damage to hybrids and Saiyans, and you have so many hybrids and Saiyans in the meta, plus some good base strike attack and some good base strike defense. The third equipment is gonna depend on if you want to build him more defensively or offensively. If you want to build him more defensively, this is gonna be great on him. This is the equipment we got from the Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku PvP shop. It's not available right now, but it's gonna be available in a couple of months in the equipment metal shop. So if you do not have him right now, maybe you can wait a little bit to get it. But this equipment is amazing in terms of defenses, 12% HP, some base strike defense and pure strike defense 20%, which is great, and special move. And Baby likes to use his special move because it's gonna draw them on his gauge. Then if you want him more offensively, you can go with the Piccolo equipment as always. This is great for Baby. He's a zenkai, he's gonna get a lot of base stats, plus you are gonna use the base Awaken equipment, so this is great on him on a regen team. If you do not have him on a full regen and you have him on a mixed team, you can go with the Kid Buu equipment, or if you want some extra HP, this is gonna be fine, but it's not gonna do as much damage. Now let's move on to Evil Buu. This guy is Z tier, so if you want to use him on a full Buu team, this is the best season to do that. In future season, it's not gonna be amazing, so I wouldn't focus his equipment right now. But for fun, this is what you can use on him. First of all, we're gonna go with the Majin Buu Saga equipment. This is basically a must run on most Majin Buu Saga characters, and it's gonna give him HP, some base defenses, and base offenses. Second equipment is going to be defensive again, and it's going to be the current PvP equipment. Evil Buu is more of a tank, so giving him defenses and HP is great. Third equipment, this is really hard to get because it's a Coop equipment, but if you have it, it's going to be really good on him, because with 3 Majin Buu Saga character, and I'm assuming using him with the 2 Boos, it's going to give him 12% pure defenses, some HP, and some pure offenses. And I would advise you to roll the regen slot, but you're gonna use this Evil Buu just one season, so it's probably not worth rolling this equipment, and that's why we're gonna ignore it. For pure defenses in terms of regen, you can always use the DKP equipment. This is a good equipment for defenses, but no HP, so I'm not too sure. However, this could be a good option. If you have it, you can use it. If not, you don't really need to grind it. Other than that, you can use the Majin Buu Saga Awaken. This is going to be okay with him. It's going to give him some base strike attack, ultimate damage, and some pure offenses. It's not a defensive one, but it could do the job. And finally, what can we do for this Evil Buu? I would advise you to use this gold DKP equipment, especially if you are using a yellow with him, which means Ultra Kid Buu, Janemba, or Baby, and it's gonna give him pure blast defense 15%, 10% HP, and 15% base strike defense, which is really good for him. And you can get it from the equipment collection event. And that's all for Evil Buu. Go as much defense as you can, because he's not gonna do any damage. Similar stuff for Metal Cooler. He's more of a defensive character, so we're gonna build him defensively. The best defensive option for this Metal Cooler is going to be the Android 13 Coop equipment. This is an amazing equipment for him that will give him some pure defenses up to 15%, HP, HP restore, and special move. So this is a must run if you can have it on your Metal Cooler. Second is going to be the gold PvP equipment, that is the Piccolo one, and this one is going to give him more pure defenses, some base defenses, and some HP, so it's great in general. The third equipment is gonna be this Broly one. Now this equipment, you need another character that is movie, so If you are running him without any movie character as an allies, it's not gonna proc the requirement, so it's not gonna be useless. But if you can proc the requirement and you have another movie, I would really advise it. Other than that, what you can do is just go with the gold careless equipment that is gonna be similar to the Piccolo one, and it's gonna give him HP restore, pure defenses, and base plus defense. That's all for Metal Cooler. He's more defensive heavy. There is one more thing I forgot, and it's gonna be the purple regen equipment. But yeah, this one is gonna proc the pure defenses just when you have sane enemy. And this meta, you have some hybrids, you have some regen, a powerful opponent. It's not always sane, so I'm not gonna advise it too much, but still a very decent defensive equipment. However, if you are debating on what to use, you just go with the God Turles equipment as your third. Now let's move on to Piccolo Jr. and the KP. Both characters are Dragon Ball, so both of them can use the DB broken unique equipment. But this equipment need battle members that are DB, so you need to be creative with it for your bench. And what I like to do is use the Roshi as my HP buffer and his DB. And like that, I can branch easily to characters that are movies and DB at the same time, and he's gonna HP buff both. For example, if I put Roshi in my team and I want to use Piccolo Jr. also, I can do someone leader slot here, and I can put Orange Piccolo as my second character. Let's say I'm gonna put an Orange Piccolo in here. He's gonna get the HP buff. In leader slot, I'm gonna put anyone that is regen and not DB or movies, and it's gonna work. We're gonna put the Ultra Zamasu, and still everyone is gonna get the HP buff, and you're gonna get an extra DB character in your team to proc the extra stats for the equipment. And you can use other characters that are color buffer, like Yamcha, who buffs green, DB, and yellow, so he's gonna buff Orange Piccolo and Piccolo Jr., or DKP and Orange Piccolo. If you don't have Orange Piccolo, you can use someone like Metal Cooler or Janemba, and so on. But now let's get back to the equipment for the Piccolo Jr. I went in a tangent about it, but obviously I would really advise you to run this equipment if you have another DB character in your bench at least. If you have more than one, this is gonna be amazing. But yeah, 2 DB character in your team, 20% to base defenses, 16% to base offenses, plus all the stuff in slot 1 is still very decent for an equipment. Second slot, you're gonna be going with his unique equipment. This is a Mastron, of course, and you need some good first slot, and third slot need to be red as always. Third equipment, if you want him to do more damage, he's not doing that much damage nowadays, but you're gonna go with the blast damage inflicted equipment for regen. This is blast damage, not pure. This is the stuff you're gonna get from featured boots and so on. An amazing offensive equipment for regen, and you're gonna get 21% base blast damage inflicted if you're gonna run this on him. But currently he doesn't do any damage anyway, so I would advise you to go more defensively, and for that you have two options. You have the Yajirobe equipment that is gonna give him more base defenses and 12% HP, or you're gonna go with the gold PvP equipment for DKP, and this is gonna give him some pure defenses, some base strike attack, HP, and some base blast attack. It's up to you, both are viable. I would go with Yajirobe mostly, but yeah, this one is gonna be good. Anyway, now let's move on to DKP, and this guy, same stuff. You can proc the 2 DB requirement at least. I would use the DB equipment. It's gonna be really good on him. Right now he doesn't do that much damage, especially on non-DB teams, so I would advise you to have at least one defensive equipment. And same as Piccolo Jr., I would use either the Yajirobe equipment or I would use the DKP Gold PvP equipment. Both are pretty good and both are pretty viable. And third equipment, you can go more defense if you want, and this one is going to be pretty good on him. A lot of pure blast defense, especially currently with defensive meta, so I would really advise you to use it. Or you can go more offense and you can go with the Piccolo Awaken equipment, which is going to be good on him with 18% pure strike attack and 16% pure base blast attack. Sorry, I would replace it actually with the Yajirobe equipment because this one is better currently in the meta. or you can replace it with the DB equipment if you do not have at least one DB in your bench. That's all for today's equipment guide for Regen. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any question, let me know in the comment. Have a good one and goodbye.